And now to our last speaker. TckTckTck has more than 200 civil society organizations and is, again, a partner of Climate Week NYC. And Kelly RIgg is the new executive director, but has spent her life actually leading international initiatives of this sort. Kelly, over to you.
Thanks, Steve. You know, it's easy to feel despondent about climate change because mostly what we hear is the bad news about current and future impacts and about the lack of the political will to solve the problem. And we don't need a crystal ball to see the future because we can do the math. By 2050, there will be 9 billion people living on this planet, all of whom deserve a decent standard of living. Right now, already, nearly a quarter of humanity has no access to basic electricity services. It's blindingly obvious that with so many more people sharing increasingly scarce resources, our children and grandchildren will inherit a future very different from the one that we were privileged to inherit. We simply can't afford to continue to use or develop dirty energy. We need clean energy access for all. But there's a lot of good news, which doesn't get reported often enough. And I was going to give you a number of fun facts, but the other speakers have already said them. So I will just mention one thing that nobody's touched on, and that is the will of the public around the world. They're rolling up their sleeves and getting on with it. On October 10th, there will be a celebration of positive actions with thousands of events taking place in more than 150 countries. Schools and businesses, churches and families will be installing insulation, planting gardens, planting trees. There will be carbon-free concerts, festivals, and even people in some of the most affected countries like Bangladesh will be taking part. Our message to governments: we're doing our part, and now you need to do yours. And there's clearly a lot of business voices saying that same message. Developed countries need to be more ambitious in their pledges on finance and emissions, and governments need to create the incentives for private sector investments. And all countries need to come together in Cancun in November to be prepared to do whatever it takes to get the international climate negotiations back on track. And Christiana, I just want to say civil society has your back. The climate clock is ticking. Only through international cooperation and coordination will we achieve the speed and the scale of the change that's needed to turn this ship around and secure a course for a prosperous future for everyone built on a low-carbon economy. Countries which are leading the clean energy race have one thing in common: effective national policies. Designing and implementing them takes time, but making the decision to do the right thing only takes a second. Thank you.